Hey, and welcome to Glue Wednesday. GLUE, God's love undoes everything. If this is your first time on the broadcast, let me tell you why I call this Glue Wednesday. Most people tend to consider Wednesday and call it Hump Day because they consider it as the middle of the week and in the middle of their work week. But the truth is that not everybody works Monday through Friday. So Wednesday is not the middle of everybody's work week, but it is the middle day of a traditional 7 day week that keeps the weekend and the weekend beginning together. So I say instead of calling it hump, which has the connotation of the need to get over, let's call it the glue because what it does is keeps the week together. And notice how even when we go into the glue pose, we have a pose of prayer. And that's why I have glue as GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Not that it tears things apart, but that if there are things are torn apart, God's love will bring them back together and make the glue work for you. I'm just jumping in quick to get the early shout outs. We start at five at on the top of the hour. We got less than 2 minutes. What's up, Coach? Tawana, good to see you. Michael James, wow, long time, Michael. Good to see you. Hey, Coach Brundy, good to see you. I gotta send you my final update and revision. So, but I'm feeling pretty good. For those of you who don't know, I'm getting ready to compete this will be my fourth time competing for the Toastmasters International World Championship of Public Speaking. And so this Saturday coming up, I'll be in the second round. There are 6 rounds total. You have to win at your club, area, division, district. Then there are the semifinals and the finals. Those are 6 rounds. So I'm going to round two, having won the club area. The club contest and the area contest is this Saturday. So do some prayers for me, but know that I have every intention of coming out victorious. What you say, Mike? Look at you being you. Hey, that's what I do. Is that a little twitch on the theme? There you go. Okay, all right, gotcha. Gotcha. Just remember, it will be me. Okay, I got less than a minute before we start today's broadcast, and I like the topic as you can see up there in the um, thank you, Coach Tawana, in the promo. Women, have you ever wondered how the WO, what's up, that? How you ever wondered how the WO got in front of men for women? Then creatively thought about the shorthand version uh, um, of without is W/O, without. So I think about that as without men, right? So that's the question, where would men be without women? So it's like woe unto man, all right? Woman, woe unto man. Where will we be without women? So as we dip our toe into Women's History Month, for once, I'll seem to honor this man made calendar, which asks us to celebrate people or things or events 1 month at a time or 1 day at a time. I'll seem to honor that by talking about the celebration of God's greatest gift to and source of mankind, women. But you know that I'm going to give you plenty of reason to celebrate women throughout the year. And not just men celebrating women, but all of us celebrating women. And again, let's all continue. It's still you figured it out, Zed. Yeah, good for you. Remember it's always what you say, Mike? WO means rib. Right. Have a good day, my friend. Okay, you too. Take care. All right. So let's get on to with today's topic. Let me first semi-dedicate this broadcast. Hey, Floyd. Um, Let me semi-dedicate this broadcast to my seasoned citizen, which is a term that I've coined, seasoned citizens instead of senior citizens. When I was in Chicago, I was on contract with the Chicago Department on Aging, and I spoke at 5 senior citizen centers a month. So I call them seasoned citizens because I think that we are all seasoned with a little something that extra that adds to the stew, because it just like they call America a melting pot. Well, the melting pot needs the right types of seasoning. So I call my senior citizens my seasoned citizens. And so I'm dedicating this to them. And this is where somewhere back in the late 1990s or 2000s where I was talking with them. And it was during that time that I was on contract and speaking at 5 centers around Chicago through my Golden Brick Road program. Now, some of you you are already receiving my Golden Brick Road fun letter. That's what I call it. It's, instead of calling it a newsletter, I call it a fun letter. And it's called the Golden Brick Road. But in case you didn't know, it's actually dedicated to my seasoned citizens in Chicago, because when I left Chicago to relocate to Charlotte in 2010, I was physically doing the Golden Brick Road program at these centers, and I created the newsletters so I could keep in touch with the mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, big brothers, and sisters that I had met during those 13 years while I was on the contract. So now, if you're not receiving my Golden Brick Road newsletter, please go to my website, check it out, and then click on the link to receive the monthly reminder email, because you can always go on the site and they're all archived there and you could read them all. But I send a monthly reminder whenever I post a new one. So the one for March is up there, so you should be getting your reminder on your email feed either this week for sure if you haven't gotten it already. But if you know for sure that you want to receive it, now you can also send me an email to my Gmail address. That's unclesporty@gmail.com. And the reason I asked you to send me a request rather than put it in here in Facebook, if you send me the request, that way when I send the reminder, you never know, there could be a filter on your email that won't let my email get through because I send it as a group, and so it may get blocked as spam. Whereas if you send me the request on email, then your email will now recognize my address when I send you the group message. Okay? So if you'd like me to send you the Golden Brick Road, send me an email request at my email address, unclesporty.com, unclesporty@gmail.com, or go to the website and click on Fun Letter. Check out the Golden Brick Road. Say, you know what, I do like this, and then click on a link that gives you the option to subscribe. But one of the things that I used to do, and what I'm going to be doing today, showing you, is that when I used to speak at the seasoned citizen centers, I used to pick a monthly theme. I'd go around the room and I'd ask each person to give me a word that began with one of the letters from the theme. And then I'd write a poem about the theme using their words and deliver it to them the following month. I similarly do that now with one of the services that I offer in my speaking business called Share the Conference, where I'll create an inspirational poem or message right on the spot about the event, and then use it as an energizer or closing so that people can leave with a nice high. So in today's program, what I'll do is share 3 poems that I wrote through the eyes of my seasoned citizens from my book, Your Name Came to Mind, and then close with one from my poetic tribute to God's greatest gift to and source of mankind, once again, women. Do you have any idea how fine you are? So the first poem is coming from my book, Your Name Came to Mind. There it is. Your Name Came to Mind. But the poem is called, and my theme for these first 3 poems, the theme was women. And I went around the room and people gave me words that began with a W-O-M-E or N. So this first one is actually called Renaissance Women, because as it turned out, the first seasoned center that I went to was called the Renaissance Center because of where it was located. And Renaissance, the word Renaissance, the old French definition, means rebirth. And when I look back, this was the first center I went to, and I was 40 years old when I got on that contract. And believe me, I did a good job of sending a proposal to create the program, but then when it got accepted, I was intimidated. I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to say to these senior citizens about life? They're going to say, oh, Sonny, we've heard all of that before, tell us something new. That's kind of the way I was approaching. I was like, what am I going to say? But then I got to the Renaissance Center, and as I start sharing, because you have to stay confident, as I start sharing, they start saying, yep, you're right, okay. And then they start, and they start lifting me up. And so that's why I said, wow, here's my renaissance. It went from my being intimidated about speaking to my seasoned citizens to them picking me up and recognizing that I had a rebirth, because what was going on was this gave me the courage to continue what my vision of what God had placed into my spirit of what I was supposed to do with my life, where he said, okay, you're going to share your poetry and uplift people's lives as you move forward. So so that was the Renaissance. That was the rebirth. So this poem is called Renaissance Woman. And oh, by the way, I have to say that in this poem, what I did was at the time, I took, even though women was the theme, I took the names of the women who were at the center and I said, okay, I'm going to creatively work your names into the poem. So I'll let you know when I come to that. But here are the 8 women who it was dedicated to. Their names were Ellen, Martha, Sunny, Lily. There were 2 whose name were Jackie, and there was an Isabel and one named Nancy. And you'll see why I wanted to make sure you know those names, okay? All right, Renaissance woman. She is wise beyond her years, a necessary part of my life. Optimistic, empathetic, to some she's a mother, to others a sister, friend, or wife. Gazing at her across the table, I see my smile, and I am reminded of the part we play in one another's lives. A role that goes beyond these walls and rests in the spirits of moments shared and words exchanged. A noble spirit of elegance, that's Ellen. A martyr of sunny delight, that's Martha and Sunny. Like the lilies of the fields and the jays in the sky, that's Lily and the Jackies. How odd, Isabel, ringing at night, that was Isabel. So, a noble spirit of elegance, a martyr of sunny delight, like the lilies of the field, the jays in the skies. How odd, Isabel, ringing at night. No way, Nance, that's Nancy, can't fit you in this one, no matter how witty or effervescent I get. But like the others, you're an important piece of the puzzle. Each of you so bonded, yet so free. How wonderful that your words have come together in this room. How perfect that your energies combine. Remember to enjoy this spirit we nurture and share your renaissance with all mankind. So as you can also see, a lot of times people may think that when, as I said in the intro, appreciate the women, that I'm just talking to men, but I'm not. I'm talking to everybody. We should all appreciate the women. So that's why it says, to some she's a mother, to others a sister, a friend, or a wife. And that moves us to the second poem, which was called, which is just called Women. And this one I wrote when I was speaking at the Southwest Center. And they gave me words that began with the W-O-M and the E and the N, and we entitled this poem strictly Women. Women. Can't live without them. Period. And I wouldn't want to have to be the one to prove it. Thus, as I sat beside the fireplace last night, my thoughts drifted to you. Not the words we exchanged during our last time together, but to you. And as I listened to the crackle of the wood, I was reminded of the crispness and effervescence of your smile, a glow of encouragement inspiring me to breathe and enjoy this walk of faith. Staring into the dancing flames, I saw the many faces of your beauty and sensed your moods. As you stare into the mirror we now share. Funny how it seems I have a message when I am merely the messenger. Clever how I mouth your words, with no sight of your hand running up my back. Lasting your effect on the lives you touch, neither beginning nor ending with mine. Oh, I could go on, but I can't live without you, period. So as you can see and hear in that poem, it's talking about, it was dedicated to them, where I was saying, yes, I'm sharing the message that you've given me through the words that you shared that begin with woman, but I'm the messenger. So often in life, we have to recognize that we are the messenger. Remember, I always say to you, choose your messengers carefully and know that you're carefully being chosen as a messenger. So I was the messenger, and that's how I even see my life. I deliver inspiration. I don't really call myself, by the way, a motivational speaker. I'm an inspirational speaker. I inspire people to motivate themselves to take the action that they want to take to become better in their lives and move on, and how they can inspire and help other people in their lives. So I was the messenger. See, that's why it says, funny how it seems I have a message. It seems that I'm delivering a message when I am merely the messenger. Because clever how I mouth your words with no sight of your hand running up my back. Think about a ventriloquist, right? Whose hand is up the puppet's back, and he or she is using the puppet to deliver the message. So they're mouthing your words, and without you seeing the hand that's running up my back, with no sight of your hand running up my back. I said that. Lasting your effect on the lives you touch, neither beginning nor ending with mine. Because I always like to send the message to anyone. Even when you thank me, I believe me, I thank you, because I am encouraged when I get encouragement. We all need encouragement. I'm no exception to that rule. So we all need that encouragement, and I appreciate when you let me know that you enjoyed the message, when you click the likes or the loves or all of that kind of stuff, because that helps everybody. It buoys me into delivering a better message. It makes me feel confident that the message I'm delivering is one that's well received. And then I hope that you recognize that same way that I'm happy to pour into your lives, you should be happy to pour into other lives, because believe me, like attracts like, and I don't spend time with people that I don't like. So therefore, and you that I know that you're someone who could inspire someone else, and I would hope that you continue to do that. So this last one from the book I wrote and I dedicated this one to my seasoned citizens at Central West Center. So those are three. So it was Renaissance Center, Southwest, and now Central West. And this one was called The Flame of Life. And in this one, you'll hear when we get to that spot how they use WOMAN as the theme as well, with the words that they gave me, and we went around the table. And it's called Flame of Life. She stood out from the rest because she was mine. Oh, how I enjoyed her touch and soothing words, the way she handled me like no one else could or dared. What was mine has been hers since the day I recognized her, and our love has never ceased, only subsided. We've enjoyed the ups and downs, ins and outs, good and bad times. So often she's gone that extra mile for me, with no expectation or doubt. In fact, when you really get down to it, she's the one who knows what I'm all about. Though it hasn't been every waking moment of our lives, we've made up for the time we were apart. And I know that I'll always love her, not with words, but deep in my heart. She is wonderful, wise, and her thoughts are always with me. She is omnipresent, and reminds me she'll be there for me. She is Mary, Mary Ann, Mary, my one and only. She is energetic, my everlasting love. She is necessary, nice, nosy, it's true. She's a part of the flame in my life. Who is she to you? So as you hear that one, think about that last line. She is this, she is that, but who is she to you? Who is the woman, and who are the women that are making a difference in your life, or have made a difference in your life? Either throw their names in the thread, but more important, to say thank you to them, but more importantly, are you thanking them? Are you letting them know that you thank them for the difference they make in your life? Because she is the flame. So if you go back to listening to some of what I had written there, we've enjoyed the ups and downs, ins and outs, good and bad times. So often she's gone that extra mile with me, with no expectation or doubt. In fact, when you really get down to it, she's the one who knows what I'm all about. Do you have a confidant? Do you have someone that you're sharing your life secrets with? And again, there's another way for you to keep yourself uplifted and inspired. And then when I said, though it hasn't been every waking of our lives, every waking moment of our lives, I'm talking about the fact that you can meet people in your later lives. So you may not have met someone from the day you were born, but you meet someone in your 20s, 30s, 40s. So you may not have been together all your life, but you can still have good friends. I don't care how old you get, you can still meet quality people and have great friendships in your life. But you have to be open to it. So that's why it says who is, and that takes us to the end. Who is she? You have to recognize when a quality relationship comes into your life. And again, when you look at all three of those poems, we're not talking about, when I use the word relationship, I'm not just talking about male female relationships. I'm talking about mothers, sisters, brothers, uncles, fathers, business relationships. You have so many different types of relationships in your life, but are you taking the time to recognize them and see that that last one said she's the flame of life? Who's lighting the fire in your life and helping you move forward? Because when you have a flame lit, you happen to be a person that spreads fire and helps it. Just like when people post on something that you write, and they post fire because you have a message that everybody else or somebody else needs. Please be inspired to continue to share your message. And so this last poem is from my book, Do You Have Any Idea How Fine You Are? And yes, I call that the tribute, God's greatest gift to and source of mankind. There you can see the words. Okay, there you can see the words. Do you have any idea how fine you are? Let me give a shout out to my good friend Bruce Brown, who drew this picture for me when I created the book. I said to him, I want a generic picture of a beautiful woman. This woman is neither black, white, Hispanic, anything. The fact that she has long hair does not mean that that's the essence of her beauty. It's just, this is just a woman. And so that's why it's called Do You Have Any Idea How Fine You Are? Just reminding women that when you may be having what you consider a bad hair day, somebody's still checking you out. So feel good about yourself. And so this is one of the closing poems, and it was actually written, it's called The Steel Ceiling, and it's written to a group of women who went out of their way to share in one another's lives. And it's so often who often got together to solidify their bond. And so the steel ceiling paints that picture for us, and you'll see that it talks about both men and women. And so steel ceiling, and I call it the steel ceiling because why? We hear the story of the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling saying that women can't go but so high. And so that's why this is called the steel ceiling, because I'm actually dedicating this to women and minorities, as well as women or any person who feels underserved, or that maybe because of their education, because of their neighborhood, where somebody is blocking you from moving forward with your gift. The steel ceiling. Glass? Isn't that something you can see through? And can't you use it to magnify smaller objects to get a better understanding? Glass. Isn't it possible to use it to look at your reflection and see yourself in the environment surrounding you? Glass. Doesn't it break when you drop it? And you just have to watch your step for moments and walking around if you don't have any shoes on? And at least the sound of its slam against the pavement conjures up feelings of empathy, pity, or nervousness, not lingering chills of fear, helplessness, or destruction. Glass. Ladies and some gentlemen, success is with you, not where you are. So even as we think about what is traditionally called the glass ceiling, about success, where doors are closed to women or certain types of men, and age, all of those discriminatory categories that we find people putting us in, that we find ourselves sometimes choosing to be boxed into. Okay, there is no steel ceiling. Success is with you. Wherever you are, you don't have to be the super person. You don't have to be the greatest. The speech that I'm going to be doing in the speech contest, my speech title is called The Greatest. And it talks about the fact that I don't have to be the greatest. I have to be the greatest me. Greatness is in knowing who you are. So you don't have to be the greatest. You have to be the greatest you. So when we look at a poem like The Steel Ceiling, it's talking about change, because change has to happen, and change is not a huge happening. It's a bunch of small, well-paced steps that are nurtured and encouraged by patience. everyone has come a long way. Not just women, not just minorities. Everyone has come a long way, and everyone should be honored and respected. It doesn't matter who you are or where you start. Let's respect and honor each person and use any monthly or ceremonial recognition of the value of having the right people in our lives. So, yeah, it's Women's Month, but we should be celebrating women all year and we should be valuing them. Last month was Black History Month. We should be celebrating Black history all year. It was Valentine's Day. We should be celebrating love all year. Veterans Day. We should be celebrating the veterans. You see my point? Everyone has value, and we should celebrate everyone beyond the man made calendar celebration designation. That doesn't mean that we totally ignore it, but the calendar is a way of helping us recognize that, hey, we need to be celebrating these people a little bit extra. But let's find ways to celebrate everybody 12 months a year, 365, 24/7 if you can. But let's use any moment to see also our individual value so that we can receive and appreciate one another's individual value. You see, life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece of the puzzle in all of your business, family, or social relationships. Yet, no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, without you, the puzzle is called incomplete. So you've got that value. And when you see the value in you, you'll value it in others. What we also have to remember with that puzzle analogy is that when we recognize that we should be the nucleus of our own puzzle, well, guess what? If you're the nucleus of the puzzle and you're in the middle of the puzzle, what do you have to exercise? Patience. Because how do we start a puzzle? We start a puzzle with the outline or the borders, and the puzzle works its way toward the middle. So you have to be patient. Every now and then you can get a clump that you can put the pieces together and work toward the border, but a puzzle requires that we be patient as we wait for it to come together, also known as our life coming together, because the picture will come together for you if you have that patience. So remember, have that patience with yourself. Recognize you're an important piece of the puzzle. Think about the Renaissance women in your life. Think about the women in your life. Think about the flame in your life and who is she to you. And think about the steel ceiling and recognizing that we can see through glass. Steel will not allow us to get through, and so we can't decide that we are dealing with steel and that we can't get through. We have to be patient and recognize that we will get through, each one of us, because we have to value all of us. We all come a long way. And remember, if there's a topic that you want me to discuss, put it in the thread or send me an email. Because I do run out of topics, by the way. But the truth is, even though I run out of topics, when I run out of topics, because I'm word sensitive, as I hear myself, I run out of topics, know that I also mean that I run into new topics. But I still love to hear from you so that I can be sure, it'll give me another way of looking at things. I want to make sure that, people who are tuning in, listening, and mostly and most definitely, I hope you're sharing it, that it's information that will help somebody get through the day, the week, the month, the year, because that's what it's all about. It's making sure that we have the glue. GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Keep God in your life and keep knowing that you are a blessing, and we can keep trying to get it together and then find out that the challenge is keeping it together. And that's why we need to be patient with ourselves. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to quickly go through and do some shout outs, see what I got here. I already gotten down to Zet, Floyd came in. Hey, Diane, yep, we're getting ready to hit our Medicare birthdays coming up. All right, what's up? What's up, Brenda? Hey, Tony, good to see you. Hey, Becky, welcome back. Hey, Lee, good to see you. Boy, what a blessing Lee was to me when I was in Chicago, and always remembering our good friend, oh my God, we're at Carroll Washington College. So God bless you. Thank you. Vic, yeah, glad you made it. Mr. Retired and sleeping too long. Brenda Tillman, welcome aboard. Bertha, thank you. I love you too. I appreciate hearing that from you. Seeing that. Hey, Linda, good to see you again, and know everything is going well. And Michael Brown, welcome back. Hey, neighbor. All right. So look, God bless you all. Thanks for joining in. Share the message with someone. And women, without you, we would be nowhere. So thank you for being who you are. Over and out, and God bless. Ciao.